Hey, ma. My mama, let me tell you what they do. How they treat me, Stacy. How they treat me so cool. Mama, let me tell you what go on. Listen to your son doing time of prayers on.
Hey, how you doing? This is Dr. Warren Crabb, and welcome to the Doctor Speaks Variety Show. We have a really big show for you tonight, really big show. We have some awesome people that we're going to introduce to you. All right, but first, before we go any further, we must go to Philly in the Know. And there you are.
Everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Philly in the Know. How is everyone? Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate your time and support. So, early voting is here, people. Did you go? Did you get your I voted early sticker? I got mine. I know it looks kind of beat up and raggedy, but I got mine. It was an exciting time. It was busy. The volunteers are working really hard and diligently to tell people about their candidates. So keep in mind, early voting is now until August 21st. The polls are open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the primary election will be on Tuesday, August the 23rd. If you have the time in your busy schedules to go early, we suggest you do. If you have any questions or concerns about voting, you can contact 954-357-VOTE. That's 954-357-VOTE. That's 8683. Up next, OIC of South Florida's 2022 Middle Class Summit is a two-day conference for workforce and economic development professionals, policymakers, and all community stakeholders to develop actionable solutions that address the many challenges facing the middle class and those seeking to enter the middle class. Don't miss your opportunity to connect and partner with local and regional community, workforce, and economic leaders on innovative strategies to move our community forward. The OIC of South Florida's Middle Class Summit starts tomorrow and it runs into Thursday, so that's August 17th and 18th. You can visit the following website for more information and to register. That's oicsfl.org. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? Join us for an appreciation celebration honoring Dr. Warren Crabb of TCSUP on Thursday, August 25th at Smitty Wings, Sistrunk from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. All right, so Transcontinental Society Unlimited Productions, LLC, and Reentry One, Inc. presents this appreciation celebration for Dr. Warren Crabb. For the past 2 years, Dr. Crabb has been involved in various programs in the Miami-Dade and Broward area. He is celebrating the upcoming 2-year anniversary of Transcontinental Society Unlimited Productions and the growth of his campaign and movement, Ex-Cons Living in the World Today and Ex-Cons Matter. Also being honored that evening include Giovanni Sairras of Reentry One, Inc. and Vice Mayor of Lauderhill, Melissa P. Dunn, who is the creator and sponsor of the Lauderhill Inclusive Entrepreneurship Program. A collective of grassroots organizations are also being honored, such as Jonathan Blyweiss of the Florida Justice Center, Oswald Nubo of Libra Life Mentoring, Elmo Golden of Dignity Speaks, Ryan Terrizzo of the Florida Fair Housing Alliance, Francois Alexander, co-founder of Conscious Contractors, Nicole Gooding of Fruits of Charity, Inc., also being recognized, recording artist and Lauderhill Inclusive Entrepreneurship Program graduate, Mancito Telfort. See you all on the 25th at Smitty's Wings on Sistrunk. For more information and to donate, visit bit.ly/The Doctor Speaks. Thank you all for joining me for this week's segment of Philly in the Know. Have a great evening. Peace.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
All right. Well,
let us
listen,
know.
I am truly honored to be honored. Okay. But it's really an honor to be honored with so many great people that are making a difference on the earth. You just don't know how excited I am about that part of it.
Yes.
I am honored to be, presented with this. But these people that all of them are returning citizens / ex-cons living in the world today, and they all are making a difference on the planet and a positive impact in their communities. So we want to, everyone is invited. There's no admission fee. Come on out, have some fun, meet some people, do some things, mingle, network.
Yes, I say if you are celebrating anything in your life at this time, come on and join us, and we love to celebrate with you. You are more than welcome to join us.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, anybody that's celebrating the accomplishments, it's an accomplishment just to wake up today and to be clothed in your right mind and a sound body. That alone is accomplishment noteworthy of celebrating. So Absolutely. We are going to celebrate with you. We just so happen to have this time people who are community leaders and have organizations that were built, if not from behind the walls, in prison. As soon as they got out, they built this, and they've been working hard. I know Giovanni, Mr. Giovanni Sairras, he's been out, a couple of years, and my God, the things he's accomplished. He's doing everything that I want to do. He's my hero. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to move on because this is election time.
Yes.
Okay. And here's the thing about election time. If you don't vote, you don't count. And if you don't count, you don't count. That means if you don't vote, shut your mouth because you ain't got nothing to say. You got everything to say voting poll. That's right. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Well, no, like you said, you can't complain after it's all said and done if you haven't played your part. So
even if you vote and things don't go your way, at least at the minimum, your voice has been heard.
Yes.
Now, this is a call out for all ex-convicts that have the right to vote now due to Amendment 4, due greatly to the efforts of Florida Rights Restoration Coalition and Desmond Meade. Big ups to you, because this is when your work comes through as important when it's time to vote. Now, speaking of vote, I was at a festival a few weeks back. I was doing a book signing. I was selling my books, and I saw this lady walking around, this little short lady walking around, and she was just as happy as can be. I found out that she is a sitting judge. She's sitting on the bench presently. Yes. And she's walking around the hood like it's all right. Okay. So I watched, hey, come on now.
An amazement, I'm sure.
Listen, I'm waiting for something to happen. I said, this lady must be okay. Let me go see what this is. And I met Miss Andrea Ruth Gunderson. Now, she is actually Judge Andrea Ruth Gunderson, and she is an awesome person. Okay, I want to bring her up right now, Madam Producer. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Welcome.
Good evening. Yes, I have.
Well,
it's so nice to see you tonight.
Yes,
I was just coming.
The audience that I met you in public. You had no fear. Your heart was full of joy, and you was full of smiles and hugs. So I said
it was Juneteenth. It was the Juneteenth event.
Yes, it was the Juneteenth event, wasn't it? Okay.
Yes, it was.
All right. So
what was not to be happy about?
Well, here's the thing. You are a judge. I don't care if you're in a drug court, if you're in criminal court, if you're in civil court, if you're in probate court, you're a judge. And not everybody's going to be happy with your decisions because you do abide by the law. But you were confident enough to know that your decisions were sound and they were righteous, so you didn't have any fear about walking the streets. And I admire you for that. I say that got to be a good person. She has to be, because she's walking with confidence and no fear. So she has to be I'm talking about in the community, not on the side. So, I'm tired backwards, excuse me. Not on the side somewhere with bodyguards and the limousine waiting for her to be spared away if something happened. No, she was right there holding hands, hugging people, taking pictures. Listen, Ruth, you are so awesome. Tell us about your candidacy.
Well, I am up for re-election. We have 6-year terms. In 2016, I was elected by almost 350,000 voters in Broward County.
Wow.
I sit on the circuit court bench. My history and my background's a little bit different than most judges you'll meet, because when my marriage ended, I was a single parent with a high school education and a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old to raise. So I
Wow.
know what it's like to face hard times and to persevere.
Yes.
It is that life experience through hard work and determination that I combine with over 29 years of legal experience as an attorney and a sitting judge. I'm grateful for the life lessons that I've learned that have embodied me with empathy, compassion, and humility that I hold dear and I carry into the courtroom every day. And I'm seeking re-election to continue my record of understanding and compassion within the bounds of the law.
Awesome. You are so awesome, Ruth. I wish I could give you a big old hug right now.
We've had those hugs, Dr. Crabb. We've had those hugs.
You know I'm a hugger.
And a lot of that is because, as you said, being in the community, I'm comfortable in the community because I've always stayed engaged in the community.
Yeah.
I have over 20 years of active participation within the community. A lot of people have asked, well, once I was elected, why am I out there? I don't have to campaign. And I've always explained it's never been about campaigning. It's always been about the community. I show up.
Yes.
And that's all that I can do. I show up. So like you said, Pastor Anderson, I know he's a friend. So of course, being among his congregational people was comfortable environment for me.
Yes.
Normal.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm among friends.
Yes. Yes. Now, some of those
and
people.
then I met Dr. Crabb, and he became a new friend.
By your being community. Exactly.
Yes.
Full
Absolutely.
circle.
I mean, my I deal with a lot of my intuition and my feelings. That's how I survived the years that I did as a drug user and as a convict being, incarcerated. I went by my instincts, and I can immediately tell a good person when I found them. Now, not all good people are associated with good people, but you don't judge anybody by what anybody else does, because you are responsible for your actions, thoughts, deeds, and feelings. And from what I've seen, your actions, thoughts, deeds, and feelings is what counts. That's what you're responsible for. You're not responsible for anybody else's actions, thoughts, deeds, or feelings. So I want to thank you because you do stand up in the pain. You do show up. And there's nothing phony there. I can tell. Trust me. Yes. So
and no, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, and that's a lot of it. People can know what's genuine and authenticity. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my community involvement started long before I became, took to the bench and was elected to the bench. I've been involved with my Lions Club on the board of directors of my Dania Beach Lions Club. I'm involved with Kiwanis, with events with Rotary and Community of 100 and a lot of other. I've recently become a member of the board of directors of the Lighthouse for Students tutoring program with Brother Mac and Hollywood that helps tutor economically disadvantaged children.
Okay, Andrea, when do you sleep?
You know what? Listen, I don't need a whole lot of sleep, but these are things that are near and dear to my heart. The organizations that I belong to and that I'm on, usually on the boards of, are organizations that support economically disadvantaged children and families. They focus on veterans and also legal organizations. Yes. It's for me, that's what it's about. Before I was elected to the bench, while I was on the board of directors of the Broward Bar Association, I sat on the organizing committee from 2011 to 2012 that helped create our Veterans Court in Broward County. Okay. And I also worked with Mission United Veterans Pro Bono Program, taking their first case when the program launched, working with legal aid, and then recruiting other attorneys to take those cases through my new lawyers orientation and mentorship program I created with the Broward Bar. For me, it's always about empowering others to to give back to the community as well as I give back to the community.
Okay.
So
You are
it's
so
those
awesome.
kind of things that I keep involved in. And because for me, that's where my passion and my heart is. And that really does rejuvenate me.
Awesome. So you found fountain of youth, huh?
I don't know. I guess, staying positive and staying active, I think, is what the key is.
That's
And
a good
always
point.
staying engaged in the community. It's what's blessed me with the support of the community now for my reelection. The outpouring of people that want to help and want to support and want to make sure that I'm reelected. Because it's not about the money and should never be about the money.
That's right.
Could I ask one quick question, Dr. Crabb? That'd be okay. All right. Again, we're so happy to have you here, and your involvement in the community, I'm sure it not influences, but you kind of can look through different eyes when you're in a community and then you go on a bench and you're dealing with a particular case. How does your involvement in the community influence some of the decisions that you have to make on a bench?
Well, if you don't understand what people are going through out there in the community, how are you going to understand when they come before you and they face those issues? I mean, it's my life experience about facing hard times that I can understand the people that come before me that are facing these hard times. That's something you can't learn in a book. Yeah. You have to have been out there, either experienced it or been involved with people that you can talk to. So talking with people from different cultures, different backgrounds, learning their history, learning their plight assists me. It helps me have that empathy. Now, granted, I will tell you, I'm in two of the most traumatizing life events divisions I've been assigned to, whether it's the family division facing the breakup of a family, or right now in the foreclosure division facing the loss of the home. Right. It's not situations I created, but they come into court and I need to address those issues.
Right.
Yes.
But I address them fairly and compassionately within the bounds of the law. And that's why not everybody's going to be happy.
Right. See, here's the thing. Not everybody understands the law. People go by emotions. They don't go by the law. So, but I can speak, from experience that, if you're breaking the law, you have to pay the piper for dancing to that tune. So don't get mad when that hammer go down.
You got to answer for what you decide
to break the law to do whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, rather it's feeding your family or feeding the drug habit. You broke the law, so you have to pay that price. Now, here's the thing that I have an issue with. When they give you 100 years for jaywalking or 1,000 years for speeding, they go outside the guidelines. They want to give you a million years for domestic violence, a life sentence, for DUI. Some things are really, really, out of control there. I remember here in Broward County, there was a judge that promised he was going to give away 1 million years in penitentiary time before he retired, and he did it. He went over 1 million years before he retired. And so he was just sentencing, willy-nilly. By the way, the person had messed up teeth, he would give him an extra 50 years. I mean, whatever his fancy was. Now, a lot of those cases got overturned in appeal, but he gave that time away. That's what I think is important in the courtroom, all right? That you, as a judge wisely, as you said, and compassionately within the law. And that's what I believe you do.
And that's all that anyone should ask from a judge.
That's right.
And there are certain boundaries. I mean, some laws have mandates as far as there's strict compliance, and judges can't deviate from. Sometimes we have a little bit more discretion in some areas. In the area I'm in now, there's some discretion I have, but then there's other times the appellate courts and the legislature have made the law that I can't stretch those boundaries. And it's explaining that to the people that come before me and the attorneys, and getting them to understand that there's only so much I can do. A lot of times what I hear is, Judge, this is a court of equity. Therefore, you can do whatever's fair.
Right.
Yes.
But
Well-
unfortunately, as they say, the law is not always fair. And I don't get to do anything I want just because I'm asked to.
That's why Lady Justice wears a blindfold. Well, listen, Andrea, it's been a pleasure having you here. I've already voted. I was one of the first at the polls yesterday. Listen, if I'm a firm believer, you don't vote, shut your mouth. You have
No, I'm
nothing to
running
say.
for circuit court judge, not county judge. Circuit court judge.
Yes.
Circuit court.
Circuit court judge.
Yeah, it
I
says
know, I
I'm running
voted.
for county judge. No, I'm running for circuit
Oh,
judge.
it says that she's running. No, it's not county judge. Okay,
It's-
she is
okay.
running for circuit court judge.
Court judge.
Okay.
And
What's
it's
that, group
Judge
9?
Gundersen with an SEN, not an ON.
Okay, we're going to get
Well,
that straight.
thank
Get
you
that information
so much.
out. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Sorry
so
for-
much.
for
I
the
have
misspelling.
enjoyed this. Thank you. Re-elect Judge Gunderson, Circuit Court Judge, Group 9.
Group 9. Thank you, Ruth.
so much
And you have a
for your time.
wonderful rest of the night.
Thank
know
you.
you're
Thank
tired.
you
Don't
both.
get
God
too
bless.
Same
God
to you.
bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to move right along to our next guest. Okay. Our next guest is running for the U.S. Senate. Okay. This is Mr. William Sanchez, and he is a good guy. He wouldn't be here if he wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm prejudiced.
For
This is a
good.
guy here. Yes, I'm prejudiced for good. Okay. Mr. William, how are you, Mr. Sanchez?
Hey, hi. I'm great. Really happy to be here with you. I'm impressed with the judge. Very
Yes.
active community leader.
Yes.
You know, that's the kind of person you want on the bench to be able to really know what the community's needs are. So when she's ruling, and I mean, her decisions are so important.
Yes.
She brings that experience with her. So I'll tell you, I'm running for U.S. Senate. I decided was blessed with the opportunity to work in the White House with W. Bush and with Obama as a special counsel on immigration and civil rights. I'm also a kid from the hood. I grew up in New York. My neighborhood was Spanish Harlem.
Okay.
And, so, I mean, I know what I say is, any hood you grow up in, when you meet other people from the hood, you know where they are, where they're from, and what they're like.
That's right.
It could be Miami, could be Atlanta, could be LA, it could be Manila. My wife's Filipina.
You remember meeting me?
Grown up real, and
do you remember meeting me?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember meeting me?
You do look familiar to me.
I remember meeting you, but I don't know where. But I remember because I'm sorry, I'm judgmental. I say that's a good guy right there.
Yeah, you know what? It was with Charisse in Fort Lauderdale at the meeting for FRRC, the Florida Restoration Rights Council.
Yeah,
sitting right next to me.
Yep.
Wow.
Because in the community.
Man, listen, she is a beautiful person.
Yeah, she really is.
Hardworking.
And we sat down and we immediately connected. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
I remember that.
Now I'm seeing that. Wow, man, that's so cool. So, so you know where I'm coming from. I got the sense of community early on. My dad didn't speak a whole lot of English. He came from Cuba as a refugee. And eventually, after a few years of working in a variety of different jobs, he bought a little bodega. And bodegas in New York are the center of a lot of community activity. People are coming there to get, their alcohol, their bread, their milk, their food, their meat, a variety of things. And they meet there and they say hello to each other. And Dad, without speaking a lot of English, was very receptive to everybody in the community, and I'll tell you one thing I'll never forget that we used to do, and this influenced my behavior a lot as a lawyer and as a person, as an adult. You may have had this, and I'm sure they did in different cities, but in New York, they didn't have credit cards yet. So if somebody would come to the store and they wanted to buy something and they were broke, right? Because they weren't getting paid for like another 2 weeks, or maybe somebody lost their job. You still would not leave the store empty-handed.
That's right.
You go, I'd pull the little card out from the box, the little index card. And whoever from that family came to see me, Mr. Smith. Oh, you're Mr. Smith's son? Yeah, I came by to pick this up. We'll pay you when we have the money. Hey, I know Mr. Smith. Don't worry about it. I write down the date, what they took, and how much it was. And when they had a chance, in a few days, in a few months, they paid up. And, that was the sense of community that was built. I didn't realize I was just a kid. I just remember going back to that box all the time. And as I've grown up, I look back and I say, man, I wish we'd have more of that sense of community in America now. Where
I grew up in the same environment in the grocery store as Jordan's Variety Store on the corner of 30th and York in North Philadelphia. And Mr. Jordan, who was like my foster father, he taught me the business of his variety store. And he sold everything from pantyhose to ice cream to sodas to medications. It was a true variety store. And I remember he had one of those little black and white notebooks. Yeah, everybody in there. Sometimes they couldn't pay. Yeah. Sometimes they couldn't pay. And he never turned anyone away from being hungry.
No,
he never let anyone go home.
If they couldn't pay in a week, they couldn't pay. They pay at some point. And let me tell you something.
Eventually.
My dad was a Cuban guy in Spanish Harlem. It was black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Dominican, you name it. Spanish Harlem is, the world is there, right?
Yes.
That community took care of my dad and us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When people were coming, because you walked out at the end of the day with a lot of money in your bag, right? There weren't credit cards. You had to close the register and walk out. Yep. And people in the community, they'd come up to my dad and say, Mr. Sanchez, in Spanish, because they communicated through Puerto Rican or somebody, because English wasn't great. And they'd be like, that guy that came in the other day, we don't know him. He's not really from here. I just wanted to let you know we're watching out because he didn't look like too nice. And do you see what I'm saying? So we all took care of each other. When we moved to South Florida, I felt it different, doctor. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It wasn't the city, it was a segregated town, I mean, Miami, I couldn't believe it. Some of the high schools were still segregated in the late 70s.
Yes.
When I was down here, and people would say, no, you're supposed to, if you play sports, you're here on the team with the Cubans. I'm like, what? Like, I'm supposed to play with the people that look and sound like me? Like, that shit doesn't fly.
What fun is that? So I just want to be clear because some people don't know the difference between the two times that Cuba had exiles come to America. The first time was after Guantanamo Bay, right?
Castro, yeah.
Yes, when Castro took over. And the second time was the Mariolito both left.
In 1980.
May of 1980. That's when I came to Florida. And they were coming on the beach, and I was on First and Collins. So, yes.
We had a bakery on 14th and Washington. That's where we had the bakery. So, we dealt with the Marielitos a lot.
Oh, I remember the conversation. I used to eat them egg bagels out your father's bakery. I remember that conversation. And the real cinnamon rolls. Yes.
You remember that? Yeah. I'm telling you, the world is small, So I grew up in that first in the bodega in New York and then at the bakery. My dad always had us working with him, try to keep us out of trouble. I still got in trouble anyway, but not in too much trouble. Yeah. So my experience comes from that. Everything that I do is guided by the way that I was raised, the places I was raised in. I was blessed enough. I did pretty well in school. I wound up going to Georgetown for law school. Didn't have a whole lot of money, took out loans and did that. And while I was up there, I met my beautiful wife from the Philippines. Been married 36 years. Now, if you want to know what multicultural family is like, you got to come to a party at our house. I'm going to tell you why. She's one of 6 girls, right? Okay. She's married to me, Cuban dude. One of her sisters married to a Haitian guy. Another sister's married to a guy from Vietnam. So those kids are Chinese. Another sister
for real.
Italy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have the world at my house when we have a party. People come in and say, hey, who is that guy? That's my nephew. Wait, your nephew's like dark. Yeah. His dad is Haitian and his mom is Filipina. How about that other kid over there? He looks Chinese. That's my nephew too.
So you invite me to a party.
You got to come to a party at my house. The world comes together. People say it's like the UN. When I was at Georgetown, I loved it. I did a lot of work in the community there. And one of my big life-changing experiences when I was about 21, I got elected to go live in Asia. And I lived in a Vietnamese refugee camp. If you can believe how different that is from America. I mean, a Vietnamese refugee camp is just 2,000 poor Vietnamese coming on wooden boats. And some of the kids didn't even have mom and dad with them. And here we are receiving them. Yeah, because they wanted them to, they didn't want them to live in communism. So people that live close to the fishing communities, they'd find out that a family was leaving in the following week and they work it out with them. And they give them their 4 or 5 year old boy or girl and say, go, hopefully he'll get to a better place. That's desperation.
Yes.
So when I lived in that camp, God opened up my eyes to this world, of suffering. It was hard at the beginning. I was like, I can't believe this really happens around the world. They would get attacked on the high seas by pirates. It was stuff that you wouldn't think is true, but it's true. And then there was the poverty in the Philippines. So I say that God put me there early on in my life to pretty much let me know where he wanted me to spend my life.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was getting away from the States and I was in Asia and I thought I was going to have a good time. And what it was, I was being molded. And I came back and in DC, I got, this law journal. I became an editor of an immigration law journal. And then when I met my wife in DC, it was crazy because we went out and on our first night we started talking and I just come back from the Philippines. And when we started to talk, we figured out I already knew her aunt and her uncle. I'd had dinner with them in Manila before I left. So that was like you and me meeting, it's like, wait, you knew my dad's bakery. It's like the world brings us together,
So that's why you're such an advocate for college for all, education for all.
Hell yeah. Kids shouldn't have to pay for college. Are you kidding me?
No matter what the income or background, every American must have access to a quality education.
Must. And if I don't win next Tuesday, because I'm going against somebody who's raised $50 million, and she's all right. She's a nice lady, but she's not for Medicare for all. I'm for Medicare for all. I'm considered the progressive candidate. The Progressive Democratic Caucus endorsed us a couple of weeks ago. I was really happy with that. We're in the richest country in the world, and people can't have health insurance, doctor.
Like I know it.
Fortunate.
Come on. Kids graduate from high school. They don't know if they can go to college. No. We got to change that. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've been representing immigrants all my life and people in foreclosure settings. There you go. Banking for all. I like that.
Yes. Cool. Accessible banking.
I don't want to take too much time, but let me talk to you about how that's different. In the early 70s, some guy, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, came and studied in the States. I think he went to Vanderbilt, went back to Bangladesh, where he's from, and people were suffering. It was a terrible famine. So he went out on the streets and tried to find out what people needed. And he realized, going with the students, that the poor already had skills, just like in our community. The poor, they might be poor, but they know how to do things, make stuff, cut hair, whatever, cook. So what they needed was money at a decent rate. No bank is going to give you money if you're poor because they want collateral. So he learned to bring people into a little group of five people in the same poor community. The poorest person will get the first loan. As they paid it back, the second person got a loan. As they paid it back, the third person got a loan. And it kept on moving. If anyone failed to make a payment out of the five, then no more loans for anybody. So what happens? No collateral because they don't have money, but the community comes to help. When one person's not doing well, everybody goes to help them out because they want to get their money.
Yes.
Right? Well, guess what?
Awesome.
Dr. Yunus, I met him in 91. in Miami. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. The bank is helping millions of families. So we started one. After I got married and had the kids, my wife and I started a bank in the Philippines just for poor people. We don't make any money on it. And we now have over 15,000 families that are borrowing from that bank. And they're entrepreneurs in poor neighborhoods. Like not poor Miami poor. I'm talking about poor Filipino poor, where they're living next to the railroad tracks and they got little wood on the side and the nipa hut on the top of their house. And when the winds blow, the roof blows away.
That sounds like where I used to smoke crack at on the tracks over town. Listen,
I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going there because I'm running.
I am a returning citizen. I am a recovery.
I know you are. I know you are. So, and I got your book. You gave me your book that day. It's beautiful.
Okay.
So if you guys want to ask me anything, where I'm coming from. We need a bank in America for poor people. Period.
I agree.
You can
because when banks go around and give money to people and they can't pay, they take their homes. And when the banks do bad, the federal government bails them out.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a bank that says, hey, the bank's funded with $10 billion from the federal government. Come on in, not just to save money. Come on in. We're going to teach you how to run small businesses.
Okay.
That's what Grameen does. They're doing it in poor countries. Why can't we do it in America? So when we came back from the Philippines in 95, we started one in South Florida. And right now it's all minorities. It's called Partners for Self-Employment. Over 12,000 families are borrowing money from it in South Florida.
That's awesome.
So I'm saying, why don't we do that all over America? So win or lose next week, I'm meeting great people like you guys, and I'm going to keep pushing for this kind of stuff. We need it. We don't need the leadership that we had over the last 4 years where they wanted to take, and they're still trying to take our voting rights away. They're trying to go backwards instead of forwards. And I want America to be greater for my grandchildren,
Okay.
Not great again, not great like in the 50s. Greater than it's ever been.
Yes, greater than it's ever been. I agree. That'd be great.
I tell you what, you can count me in. Keep me in mind. Okay, I'm serious. Anything I can do to help or anything I can become involved in for the greater good of the community, I'm there. William.
I'll be reaching out to you, Doctor. It's amazing that we made this connection again.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
See, that's how the universe works. That's how God works.
Exactly. But it was the cinnamon buns that pulled you in.
Yeah, I'm sure. He is the cinnamon man. Y'all are funny.
And I haven't been able to find cinnamon.
Because you walked by and you looked inside the glass and you said, "Damn, those cinnamon buns look good." And my dad would put them in the
sticky buns.
If you walked in and you wanted them hot, he put them in that big oven. And then put a little glaze on it, man.
Oh my goodness!
Coming back every day.
He's going to be looking for these now for days. Thanks, William.
Thank you, William. Thank you so much.
Bless.
All right.
Thanks to you.
All
wonderful conversation.
Awesome.
We appreciate you.
All right.
All right.
Now you see why I like him.
And why you love the sticky bun scene.
Give me
now I know.
Got me. Okay.
Yes. All right.
So now we're going to bring on our next guest. This man. Wait. Oh my God.
Wait, sir. Don't we have an exclusive? A quick exclusive to show? No. Yes. No.
An exclusive?
Yes. I thought the exclusive would go before our final guest.
See, that's what you get for talking. But anyway, you're right. Okay. You're right. Okay, the doctor did do an exclusive interview. Okay, this is with Miss Kaysia Earley, Transcontinental Society Unlimited Productions. We did endorse Kaysia Earley because she is ex-con. I can't put any planning in that. Can we roll the clip of this exclusive interview, Madam Producer?
You're on.
Hey, this is the doctor, and I'm here with Kaysia Earley. I want to show you real early. Listen, Kaysia, can you tell the world why they should vote early for you?
Well, I have a host of reasons, but most importantly, I am the community. I've been a community servant for the past more than 18 years. I'm a criminal defense attorney, but you know my story. I was once a criminal, right?
Yes.
I was in the system, a felon. Ex-cons do matter. In fact, everyone in the criminal justice system matter. But society likes to forget that. So 18 years ago, I was incarcerated, solitary confinement, while pregnant. So just obstacle on top of obstacle on top of obstacle. But 18 years later, I've been named top 40 under 40 by the National Trial Lawyers Association, top 10 attorney for criminal defense, and also Broward County Mentor of the Year.
Because we all need mentoring from smart, strong people. Now, I'd like to compliment you, first of all, on your journey, because I know the journey wasn't easy, okay? And I know that you even may not have been admitted to the bar at one time.
Absolutely. So I basically took a gamble. So when I went to law school, I knew that if I graduated from law school, passed the bar, there would be a small chance that they would not admit me into the bar. So I did take a gamble into basically having about $250,000 worth of student loan debt and possibly not being sworn into the bar. So I had to go before a 5-member board, and this 5-member board grilled me for 3 hours. And then after the 3 hours, 2 weeks later, I was admitted into the bar. So it'll be 8 years, September 30th, 2022.
We're going to celebrate that anniversary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We can do a lot more celebration.
Okay. Now, also, I want to...
Well, good. Let's focus on this for a moment, shall we? As you can see, vote early for Earley. That is my last name. We're letting everyone know to make sure you vote early. Play on the last name. For Earley, absolutely.
All right. Now, Transcontinental Society Unlimited Productions, we have endorsed Kaysia Earley because she is our candidate. And I'd like to thank you for being here today. You know, you are really, really special. You're really, really representing.
Thank you very much. And for all of you out there, be an informed voter. Before you go to that booth, make sure you Google, research, know who you're voting for, because local elections matter. Everyone usually votes for presidential elections, but that's on a greater scale.
Yes.
Your local elections matter. Your commissioners, your school board members, your mayors, your judges matter. So be an informed voter and vote early for Earley.
And remember, these are the people that's going to dictate our future in one capacity or another, whether it's in the school board, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the, whatever it is that's being elected as a public servant. They are going to take advantage of that. And if they're bad people, they're going to take advantage of that. Okay, the good people are going to make sure that good things get done and fair. Don't think that you won't get the time for the crime, because you will. But you won't get 100 years for jaywalking if you vote for the right person.
That is correct. Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity, and thank you for utilizing your platform to educate the people.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Go.
All right.
Early D love her. Vote early for Early D love her.
Vote early for Earley.
He's out. Okay.
All right. Karaoke night flashbacks.
You see the donate now, thedoctorproject.com. These proceed for people who do donate. In-kind donations, general donations. We are taking those donations, and part of it is going to the Theater of the Creative Consciousness of the Arts and Art, which is a 501(c) that deals with children and youth, teaching them about drug awareness, STDs and things of the sort, educating. And the other is with Purpose Through Passion. That's the other 501(c) non-for-profit organization that your donations will help. Okay, now we're gonna have my hero. I'm talking about my hero, okay?
Yes.
My hero. Come on now. All right. His name, oh my God. I am so excited. Okay. Woo woo. Can you, Madam Producer, bring my hero on. There he is. All right. Giovanni, Mr. Giovanni Sairras. How are you this evening, my brother?
Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's a blessing to be here. I'm really excited, just be featured on this platform. I love what you're doing. You're one of the biggest advocates out here in Florida, throughout the nation for returning citizens or ex-cons living in the world today. So it's just I'm honored, and I'm trying my best to be humble because I just love you guys. I love what y'all doing.
Oh man,
we appreciate you so much.
You got a lot to be humble about, okay? Because you're not going to tell it. I'm going to tell it. You are a returning citizen also. You're also an ex-con living in the world today. And since you've been out, oh my God, man, the hell with a giant step for mankind. You made giant steps for the entire universe.
Okay. Yes. Hardest working man.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. So I am a returning citizen. In 2003, I was arrested pursuant to a Drug Enforcement Administration investigation. I was subsequently charged with drug trafficking and conspiracy charges, and I was sentenced to 20 years. It was my first conviction, and I was 21 years old at that time. And, essentially the judge sentenced me to just as much time as I've been living. So it was a wake-up call for me. I learned what the system was really about, and the different processes that pretrial defendants, as they call them, pretrial defendants go through, sitting in the county jail, waiting for a few people or a judge to decide your fate, while the prosecutor paints a very horrible and daunting picture of you. So yeah, it's tough, So I was released May 15th, 2020. If you could recall, it was a very tough time in America and around the world. So when I was released, it was the height of the pandemic. As I recall, it was tough because I remember being released with a pair of dress shoes, and
they started you out.
yeah, because the idea was for me was to always dress for success. I wasn't going to allow the system or the negative stigma surrounding doing time to to define who I was and who I am today. And so I dressed for success, and I stepped out of prison looking like I owned a company already, and coincidentally I started my company approximately like a month later, and and during that time I recall I didn't even have shoes on my feet because the dress shoes was the only shoes that I actually owned, and most of the stores in our communities were closed because of course it was the pandemic.
And also George Floyd kicked off in May of 2022.
Right. So there was curfews, the stores were closed. So there was so much going on in the community at that time. And, we weren't able to go to the store and buy any shoes and stuff like that. The only thing was open was like Walmart. And it was a certain period of time it would stay open. But every time you go, the lines were like extremely long. So I spent because I actually celebrated my 38th birthday a month after I was released. So I spent that birthday, my first birthday out of prison, with no shoes on my feet.
Wow.
And it made me even hungrier, because it made me appreciate freedom, but it also showed me that you can never get too content in life. And life is always about elevating and bettering yourself. And so it made me hungry to pursue the things that I always wanted, the things that I dreamed of, and my passion in life, which is to serve people, to serve humanity, no matter what race, religion, creed, or color.
Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. So this goes to my theory and what I firmly believe, that everything you went through made you who you are so that you can become who you're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone would have told me 20 years ago that I would be serving that much time in the system, I probably would have thought they were crazy, because I didn't think that you would get that much time for drugs.
And first offense too.
Yeah, and the first offense. But as I learned, the law doesn't concern itself with with really what's moral or immoral. The law only concerns itself with what's lawful and unlawful, legal and illegal. Take for example, in any ordered society, any modern society, it's actually immoral to kill someone, right? But the death penalty where they kill people. They, inject deadly chemicals into your bloodstream and they put you to rest. But it's legal. But we still see it as immoral to kill someone. So it doesn't. So the law does not concern itself with, with what's more immoral. It only concerns itself with things that are legal and illegal and legal. And whatever you can prove in the courtroom, it doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty. It's just what you can prove in the courtroom. So going through trial and learning these things, it kind of pushed me to study the law, and I did that, and I actually became a certified paralegal / legal assistant in prison, and I graduated from BCI Blackstone Career Institute, and I received my certificate diploma. But learning the law is what gave me a even more appreciation for the law, because I see how it operates, and I see where we, as people in the community, underserved people in the community, where we have a misconception of the law. I think, brother, you mentioned earlier on the show, I think you were talking to the judge when you said that we don't look at the law for what it is. We approach the law with an emotional attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
We look at the law emotionally and we say, okay, I feel the law should be this way. I feel it should be applied that way. But that's not what it is. So, studying the law, and then I became a mentor to a lot of brothers in the system. To the point, yeah. And I know it seemed like you about to ask me, but so I founded a spiritual group while I was incarcerated, and through that medium, I was able to mentor a lot of young brothers in the system, because they were lost as I was once lost myself. And so the idea behind the mentoring program was to bridge the divide between the older generation and the younger generation, because there is a divide there. And so I wanted to bring those two generations together and have them to understand one another, have them to understand the reasons behind the divide. And I did just that. So I got the older brothers that were in the system that had been down for a long time, that had been serving 20 years, 30 years. We had one or two brothers that were knocking on 40 years in prison. And so I got them together and I said, hey, we need to do something with these young minds. They're going in the wrong direction. There's a lot of gang influence and gang activity going on. So let's talk to them. Let's mentor them. Let's see where we can assist these brothers, because we're going to be elders one day. You know what I mean? We need to, let's start now, so the brothers agreed. I had about 15 or 20 older brothers that were, in agreement with me. And then we took we went out and spoke to young brothers. Some of them came to us voluntarily. And then, they received anything from spiritual counseling to personal counseling. We help guys with their GED. We help guys, there was, individuals that were incarcerated that didn't even know how to read or write, or even, they didn't even know their a simple basic math skills. So we assisted them with anything that they needed. And I can say that before I actually left prison, we had a membership of at least 300 individuals. And we also had satellite communities throughout the Florida prison system, where some of the brothers that I had actually taught and mentored transferred out to other institutions, and then they founded their own, brand. Yeah, definitely. So, it was a very profound experience for me, and it was humbling, because I realized that, the leaders that we're looking for are inside of us. So if you're looking for, I was always looking for the older brother to mentor me, because I didn't really have a mentor growing up. And if I had that mentor, then maybe I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I made. So I realized, I was in my mid-20s at that time, and I realized, I was like, yo, why am I looking for someone that I can't find? I haven't found that individual yet. Maybe it's time for me to be that individual that I'm looking for. And that set me out to the journey of not only self-discovery, but becoming a leader to, a large group of brothers in and out of the system.
And you are a leader. When I met you, the first words I said to you was, you're doing everything I want to do. You are my hero. Okay. Now, see, let me share something with you. Yes. When I was being arrested when you were born.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. So I didn't have those mentors that lead me, or I didn't pay attention to them, one or the other. But you're a mentor for me today.
Wow. Wow.
So the roles have been reversed. Wow. See, it's not even about an older brother mentoring a younger brother. It's about a wise mind mentoring the human race.
Wow.
And you do it very well. And I appreciate you. And if nobody tells you, the doctor is proud of you.
Thank you, man. I'm so elated. And funny thing you should say that, Dr. Crabb, because I was always the youngest in any group that I was in. Even in the mentoring group that I founded called YMI, I forgot to mention the name of it, YMI, which is the letter Y, the letter M, the letter I, and it stands for Youth Mentoring Initiative. And it also stands for Young Men of Integrity, because that's who we were building, young men of integrity. And it also asks, YMI also asks the fundamental and basic question, why am I? Why do I exist? So it was our goal in that program was to help you discover self, right? Know who you are. Because if you know who you are, then you know what your life purpose is. So when I set out on the journey of self-discovery, I realized who I am and what my life's purpose was. And that's why you see this banner back here, right? Inspiring success through a life of change. Reentry One, which is the nonprofit that I founded. I mean, months after getting out of prison. And like you said, I didn't even consider waiting or time or adjusting. I haven't even adjusted yet. And I'm 2 years out. I own multiple businesses. I'm helping people in the community, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful because it's a dream come true. I'm actually living a dream, because about 15, 16 years ago, I said, man, you know what? It's time to give back to the communities that I once took from. And I stand firm on that. So Reentry One, Inc. Is a nonprofit organization founded in Miami, Florida. And it's just devoted to providing reentry resources and reentry assistance to returning citizens. So we assist individuals with food, clothing, hygiene products, housing, free access to free health care for an entire year, clinic visits, you name it. It's a whole employability, training. So we have a whole wide range of services that we provide to individuals released from jail and prison. And we also help women as well. We offer them the same services, and we also offer their children clothes as well. We have brand new clothes and shoes for the kids, because one thing about it is we believe that the family unit is very important. It plays an important role in society, and especially in Black communities. So we have a family reunification program where we assist individuals that have done time with reacclimating back into society by strengthening the family bonds, that they have with their children and other loved ones. So Reentry One is definitely that nonprofit organization that many of us exiting from the system have been looking for and waiting for. So with the help of you guys and your platform, we hope to reach many, many more individuals who are seeking assistance with getting out, and also individuals who are seeking to help out a nonprofit organization, because we need funding to do what we do. And much of what we have been doing over the past 2 years has come from my pockets, So we're also we're happy, and we're actually just elated to have the community support, because when we do our community events in the local community, you should see the turnout. We have people coming out. We have volunteers, and Black, white, Spanish, you name it, man. Everybody's there. We're all having a good time. Everybody's donating their time and their efforts to just improving and bettering the lives of people in the community.
Well, Giovanni, we're going to have a show with just you.
Only you.
Thank you.
Because you are busy, okay?
That's the tip of the iceberg. We didn't even get into it.
So we're definitely gonna have to come back, and I got a feeling you're gonna be one of the regulars here.
Thank you. I got a lot to say. You know, I've been through a lot. I got a lot to say. Y'all know I've done a lot in my time on this earth. And I just want to share my story with people and inspire and encourage people to be a better version of themselves every waking day. And that's the message. That's the message that I'm presenting out there. That's the message of Reentry One, is to inspire success through a life of change.
That's Reentry One, www.reentry1.org. And listen, I love you, man.
Thank you.
I love you. Okay. I love you.
We are excited for the 25th.
I love you guys too, man. I love y'all.
All right. So this is the doctor, and we are about to be out of here. And I just want to give a word before we leave. Okay. Today we've had people that came on the show. They were representing different things that they're running, different offices, and each one was a real human being. Okay. And they pee and they poop. That means that they're the same as us, but their mindsets are different in a way that gives them the requisite to run for offices that they're running for. It's up to us to make those changes for positive reinforcement in our communities. I want to say that to you, Giovanni, I'm on your coattail, brother, because you're my hero.
I'm so elated. Thank you, Sister Shashana. Thank you, Dr. Warren Crabb. I mean, I can't thank y'all enough. We love what you guys are doing. We need more platforms like the one that you guys have, and we need this message to be presented throughout every community in the United States. And we just want to tell the people, look, get out there, vote. Vote for the those that are going to serve the better interests of the people, and just keep the movement going strong.
And if anybody doesn't know who to vote for, get the recap of the show and vote for the people on my show.
Absolutely.
That's all you need.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is the doctor, and this is the Doctor Speaks Variety Show. Catch us next week. We have some awesome guests. Okay, we're going to have entertainment. We're going to have the entertainment spotlight. We're going to have the community spotlight. We're going to have it. Come this week and join us here at the Doctor Speaks Variety Show. And it's going to be a really big shoot.
Thank you, guys. We love you. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Hey, mom. Mama, let me tell you what they do. How they treat Mr. C. How they treat me is cool. Mama, let me tell you what go on. Listen to you.